Welcome once again to Lehto's Law. Here's Steve Lehto.
Couple quick program notes. Number one, there's a thunderstorm rolling overhead right now. So if you hear any loud weather, that's what's going on. Second of all, I often say, here's a story widely reported. And this story, as far as I can tell, has only been reported in one place. It might be in more places by now when you see this. However, it's from A View from the Wing. And I've done stories from them before. So I'm guessing they're breaking this story. And Gary Leff wrote it. Hertz nightmare. Now, here's the thing. I've done stories about Hertz. I actually thought we were done with Hertz. And I thought we were done several videos back. A couple of videos ago, I said, well, we're done talking about Hertz because they can't come up with anything new. They've done everything that we could talk about under the sun. There is someone at Hertz apparently going, no, we need to get back in the headlines. What else can we do? Customer fined $436 before they even rented the car. So a Hertz customer accomplished something new in the annals of rental car company disservice because they were charged for a red light ticket which occurred before they rented their vehicle. Now, this is really easy to figure out. Whoever turned the car in before these people got it apparently ran a red light. Ticket got generated, and Hertz just sent it to the wrong people. But it's so simple, you think, well, that's easy to fix. Again, we're talking Hertz here. We're talking Hertz. The customer rented the vehicle on May 15th at Calgary Airport for a period of 6 days, starting at 10:30 p.m. That would be in the evening, my friends. However, the agent at the airport mistakenly logged a rental as beginning at 10:30 a.m. And a lot can happen in 12 hours, it turns out. So they were hit with an extra day's charge beyond the period they actually had the car for because, of course, they go from when you rent it to when you drop it off and 24-hour increments, apparently. And so by saying it was 10:30 in the morning, they dropped it off too late on the late day drop it off, they get added an extra day there. The previous renter ran a red light at 2:33 p.m. the day these people picked the car up at 10:30. So several hours before these people rented this car, someone else got a red light ticket in it. So the system, which simply goes off dates and times and stamps and entries, saw them as having the car at that time and slapped a $436.50 amount to their bill. Now, it would have been impossible for the customer to have had the car at 2:33 because they were actually in flight on an airplane. They were in the air. So they provided copies of their boarding passes, and Hertz agreed with them about the rental start time and removed the extra day's charge, but apparently refused to budge on the red light ticket or the extra fees associated with the extra day. Hertz removed only the base rental charge. And apparently there's a penalty of some sort also. Now, the customer says Hertz is no longer talking to them. And so they're kind of like, what do we do next? Now, much of the advice that this customer has gotten has been to dispute the charges with their credit card company. And of course, that should do it. But A View from the Wing points out that if you do that, it's quite possible that Hertz will ban you as a customer. And he says even a righteous dispute might get you placed on our do not rent list. I got news for you, my friend. At this point, the do not rent list is a good place to be because you don't ever want to even accidentally rent from Hertz. Hertz has even been known to ban a customer's descendants. If that's true, that's pretty good. Now, considering what's going on here, don't forget it was not too long ago we talked about Tesla vehicles being rented by Hertz and Hertz charging the customers to refill the gas tanks. And then, of course, the history of customers getting arrested because they were driving a Hertz vehicle that had apparently been reported stolen, oftentimes because someone previously didn't return it, had nothing to do with the people driving the car who got pulled out of the cars at the roadside, often by police who weren't too happy about it. So Hertz often refuses to admit its mistake because they don't want the police to stop believing them when they file police reports. And so now you're getting charged for tickets written before you rented the vehicle. And Gary Leff points out jokingly, that actually doesn't seem that bad in the scheme of things. I mean, it's true. You weren't arrested. In fact, isn't this the least you expect to happen to you when you rent from Hertz? And it's not even their first example of imposing time travel on a customer. Earlier this year, Mr. Leff wrote about one person who tried to rent from Hertz for the very first time and found they'd been banned by the company for their previous activities, which they couldn't have had because they'd never rented from Hertz previously. So, I'm amazed by this because Hertz has had these stories popping up now for several years. And I know that because I've done videos on them now for several years. And it started with all the people who were getting pulled over because the police thought the car was stolen. And it's not that hard to figure out what's going on there, except you'll notice it doesn't happen with other rental car companies. So there's something inherently wrong with the way Hertz is operating their business. There must be. And you would think that bad publicity and lawsuits, because I think there have been some lawsuits, would be some kind of impetus to make them change their ways. And, there are certain industries where you can count on getting bad customer service, okay? The power company. If you're in an area that's only got one, the customer service is usually pretty sketchy. If there are two that compete with each other, it might be a little better. It might be. But I've encountered bad service, for instance, in the cable arena. And you might say, but there's competition there, Steve. Sort of, but not a lot of competition. And so apparently it depends on how much competition you've got before you have to start worrying about whether bad behavior will hurt you. Okay? So I am convinced now, and I'm saying this just because it'll be funnier when it happens. I'm convinced now that Hertz cannot do anything that will top this, or the gas in the Tesla, or the arrested car thieves. They can't do anything else that will get them the news. Because now, when Hertz does something, it's literally dog bites man. Oh, Hertz did something bad to a customer? It's not news. It's not news. Except when they find a new twist, it's news. And this is a great one. This is the new twist. And so, red light camera ticket was issued to this car several hours before these people rented it. And they can prove that because they have their boarding passes showing they were on an airplane. Being on an airplane is one of the places that you cannot drive a car, okay? So if they simply said, oh, I've got a receipt that shows I was at a store around that time. Well, maybe you drove to or from that store. No. I was in an airplane. Was not driving a Hertz car in the airplane. I wasn't. So it's a great story. I'm waiting to see how it unravels. I suspect we're going to hear down the road that somebody at Hertz actually said, oh, because again, since we know what happened, it'd be really simple for them to fix it. All they got to do is go, oh, we take it off this customer's and put it on this customer's account. They know who had the car, don't they? Or don't they? And of course, people in the comments going, but Steve, maybe an employee took the car for a joyride and the car wasn't supposed to be rented in that time frame. If someone said that's what happened, I'd believe it. So you never know. But again, view from the wing, Gary Leff wrote that everyone sent. At one point I had 10 emails in a row, 10 that were about this. Hertz nightmare. Customer fined $436 before they even rented their car. Questions or comments? Put them below. Let's talk to you later. Bye-bye.
Thank you for watching Lehto's Law. The bicycle is a curious vehicle. Its passenger is its engine.